and this is Hope is Speaking. Come listen, come laugh, come learn, and bring your flowers. I've been wearing my flower crown because I love my flower crown. I love my flowers, and it is adorning my crown, which is wonderful. And I entitled this Live Now, Don't Wait. Live now, don't wait. Live now. Live now. Don't wait. Because a lot of y'all are waiting. A lot of you are waiting to live. And when I say that, I mean waiting to start something new, waiting to change, waiting to work out, waiting to move, waiting to be something that you can be now, but you're waiting because hello, hello. Later than usual, but I'm here and I'm happy to always read whatever you type to me. So good evening. Don't wait. Take life now, one breath at a time. And I say that I say that because I had been at the hospital again today. I have been sharing with my hopefuls and everyone on my live that transition, just my father's health and being in the hospital. And I heard my mom on the phone, and she came and said, "We gotta go to the hospital. Your father is back in the emergency area, and it's time to go see." So with that, hearing those words, and for the past few weeks going back and forth to the hospital, being in a hospital, it can take something out of you. But I found this, it adds to my life because it shows me that my life is constantly going, constantly fleeting. And the more that I wait for things that I think need to be in the future, the less time I'm going to have with those things. And as I was there today, thank you for liking the live, share the live as well. My father has had some difficulty with his respiratory system and breathing. So he was on a machine that was helping him, and he's 76 as well. And the doctors and nurses said, "Okay, so you just breathe, just breathe." And I said, "Dad, I will do some breathing exercises with you." And I told him, "Dad, it's one breath at a time. It's one breath at a time." What's up, Magic Man DJ? But how often do we take one breath at a time, just living in the same life that we've been living that we have not liked? And you know, I always say this because I can brag and say I've only had occupations that I love, but most of you don't. And when I go to a hospital and I see people there with their families and loved ones, and it adds to their stress because not only do they have that stress of a person being in a hospital, they have the stress of all the things in life that it's been stealing their soul. And now they have one more thing to carry. But when I think about one breath at a time, when I think about showing up, I'm still showing up, speaking on TikTok. Can you believe it? I came back, had something to eat, and got on TikTok because not only do I love this, this is more than just going live on TikTok. When I say I'm a speaker, when I say, well, I'm going to do TED and I did my TED Talk, it is doing the things that you see yourself doing often when you don't want to do it. Thank you, thank you. I don't know how people constantly show up for things that they hate. And this is typically their job. But it's the thing that you want to do. Maybe it's the hobby, maybe it's a new profession that you see yourself doing, but you can't show up. You can show up for that job you don't like. You can show up for the relationships you don't like. You can, 200,000 is not a lot of money, Goba 1,101. 200,000 in the span of your life is not that much money. For me, it's not. So there we go. But that's for me. That's my truth. Still, being able to consistently show up for the things you hate, but you can't show up for what you want, early retirement. Yeah, I retired at 36. I don't know how you cannot show up for yourself. I don't know how you cannot show up for your health. I don't know how you cannot just show up and change the picture of what your life is currently. How do you do that? Please help me. Help me understand how you can show up for everything that you don't like, but you can't show up for yourself. You can't show up for just taking a walk every day for your health. You can't show up for your dream. You can't show up because you're so used to just showing up for things you don't care to show up for. And this is always reinforced. And this is the positive side I see every time I'm in a predicament like this, where I'm in the hospital or the emergency room or seeing someone and thinking about me and my life and what my parents have given to me. It is my duty to fulfill my dreams. It is my duty to fulfill whatever I see myself doing. Because there will come a day where you may say, why I never got to do the things I wanted. I never got to accomplish my dream. I never got to really accomplish anything that I really wanted for me. And especially if it's at a job, oftentimes you can just look at whatever you're being compensated with to take you away from your dream. What's up, the God particle? How much can I be paid to take me away from my dream? And I speak about that. I do, because I've had a near-death experience. And also in this time, especially witnessing my father, it gives me even more drive. It gives me even more drive. So I share this message to say, be aware that there will become a day where you'll say, I was tired of that. That wasn't me. I just did that for this little check. As Goba 101 said, they paid me $200,000. If that's what you want, then great. But if it's not, go get what you want. Stop settling. And so many of us just settle because we believe this is all I can do. This is good enough. I can do enough with this. You can't. Especially if you're in the US, you can never have enough money. If you're outside of the US, it's something different because healthcare, you don't have to fret about that. But if you're within the US, one accident, one illness, one car accident will wipe out all the little money you think you have. And when I speak about the pursuit of a dream or pursuit of more or pursuit of what's for you, at times, I believe that that's one of our biggest goals in life. Because who wants to get to the end of our life and say, I never really lived what I wanted to live? I don't look at people and make my judgment of how I see life on them, J Mantra. I don't care what anyone is doing. I don't care. That is not my role in life. My role in life is never to judge that. Even, let me call you in, not call you out. The fact that the question is, do I look at people who have less? That means I have to deem and label and judge from my perspective of what they have is less. That's not me. Maybe that's you. That's not me. I don't know what people aspire for. I only know if you tell me. I only know if you say, I really hate this job. What I would really love to do is have a carnival, but no, I stay at this job. Then I know, but otherwise I don't know. I don't care what people do. My life is too fulfilled and built on what I'm building for me to look at someone else, judge and decipher what they are doing to encourage them. No. If someone asks me, that's something different, but I don't just solicit random people. What's up, Zach? I don't know. Not at all. Furthermore, the more that I see the aging process and just the cycle of life, not only do I not care about anything that's outside of me, because I don't have any jurisdiction over that. I have no control over that. My control is with me. And that fuels me. And I'm sharing this because I just arrived back within the past hour from the hospital to say, man, this pushes me even more. This pushes me even more. Because I saw a creator here on TikTok speak about, they were interviewing people 80 and above. And everyone said, yeah, I wish I would have worked less and traveled more. I wish I would have tried to do the things that I dreamed about. I wish I would have spent more time with my family. No one ever says, I wish I were to buy more clothes or have more shoes or buy more jewelry or drink more alcohol. No one ever says that. It is always the things that they took time away from. It's always typically travel, which I've already done. That's why I've kind of checked that off. But seeing specifically, because I speak about my father a lot, love my father, daddy's girl, exceptional man. This is why I show up the way I show up, because I had two people that loved me, and just gave me an example to show up as me in the world. And as I was seeing my father in the hospital today, it is all of those feelings. It's the feeling of, yes, these are the twilight years of my parents. My father is 76 and he's a veteran and he's all of these things. And I still see he's still my dad. And it is the push. It's the push for me. It's the push of, I can do a little bit more today. I can do a little bit more with my voice. I can do a little bit more with my dream. I can do a little bit more. I can do more. I'm built differently. I really am. And with my father, I have a bit of his stubbornness because we had an update. He is in like a physical therapy center, getting him strong enough to return back to my parents' house. And they said, yeah, he just doesn't want to do the work. And it reminded me of how people will often talk about what they want, but you're not willing to put the work in. Because my father constantly says, I'm ready to be home. I want to come back home. But if you aren't doing the PT, the physical therapy, you can't come. Now let's take that context back to just our everyday life. How are you expecting to get what you want to get when you're not willing to do what it takes? You're not willing to be uncomfortable. You're not willing to do it day in, day out, and not see the evidence of what you want. Maybe not for years. This is why it's not built for everyone. And I understand that. The ones that want it will do it. The ones that's not for them, that's not for them. To each their own. However, if it's for you, just do it. And I saw something with, I think it was Gary Vee, who was saying like, no, it was Casey Neistat, who said, it sucks. It sucks when you're building something and you're showing up every day, or you're a musician and you have a show and no one shows up and no one listens to your music and no one believes in you, and people roll their eyes and say, oh, you're still trying to do that. That is not a good feeling. But there's a hardness within you that says it doesn't matter, because one day they will. And I believe it and I see it. I see it. And I understand that. Even when I retired from my last career and said, okay, I'm going into speaking professionally. I'm definitely, okay, first, what I want to do my TED Talk, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that. It was like, okay, sure. Yeah, your hope, you accomplished, but why that? Like, I've never heard, what is a speaker? Like, do you just, what, TED? Like, why would, what? I don't care if people don't understand or see what I see. And you got to get to a point where what you see is real for you. It's not going to be real for anyone else until they actually see the hard copy. With anyone who started anything, whether it is a entertainer or entrepreneur or someone building something within the tech space, no one's going to get it but you, and get used to that. No one's going to get it. No one got it. No one still understands why I show up on here every day. No one got it when I did do my TED Talk. Some people I saw were kind of, it doesn't matter. The thing is, none of it matters. What matters is what you want, what you see, and how you continue to show up. That is it. That is it. That is it. Because most people aren't going to do the work. They will try it for maybe, let's say 3 weeks, and that's a stretch. But most people don't have the heart. They aren't built for it. They aren't built for it. I know that this is a long game. The fruits of my labor aren't going to be seen immediately. It's consistent, constant, directed effort, constantly. Most of the time without financial payment. And your only payment is all the work you're putting in. Your only payment is the consistency. And people say, man, I see her all the time. I'm going to stop on her live. Man, what? I'm going to check this out. That is the payment. And it does compound. And after a certain amount of time, everything comes together. Everything. And someone said, I saw a creator who had spoken about why we expect overnight success. I believe in overnight success. But it's just which night. It may not be the first night. It may be the 7,000th night, but it does happen overnight. It just may take several thousand or 100 nights for that overnight to click. And that's okay if that's not for you. Because you really have to have a burning desire to build something. When I talk, I love doing this, and I fully knew what I was getting into. Let me take my shortbread out of the oven. Oh, great. Okay, it's not even done. Anything that you want to do, I really would like you to take yourself, imagine yourself At the end of your life, with friends and family around you, what do you want to say? What do you want them to say to you? What do you want to be proud of at that time? Do you want to be proud that you consistently showed up to the job you hate? Do you want them to be proud that you stayed because of the kids, but you lived separate lives? Do you want to be proud of the lie that you lived? Or do you want people to say, you know what? You did it. You did it. You really did it. You built this thing that no one saw, and you believed in yourself. And you kept showing up. And although this is the other side of your life, I'm proud of you, and you did it. And now I want you to take those people away and have that conversation with yourself. And I had a conversation similar to this, and I always bring this up with the emergency landing on the airplane that the left engine went out. That's really all it took. And I had already knew that I was going to transition out of that career, but that sped it up real quick. All you need to have is some major disaster or health ailment to say, whoa, wait a minute, I got it. I'm erasing this whole chapter and just starting new. And this is why I actually don't have, I have people that I'm around, but most people are really boring because they settle. They settle for what's easy. They settle for what's comfortable. They settle for the lack of stretching their mind and learning, which may be difficult, especially if you haven't put yourself in a position to learn for an extended amount of time. And you become boring. You become stagnant, and it shows. And also the fear of that I'm never going to have it, so I won't try. That shows too. I can't have that life. I can't get my health back. I can't start a new career. I want to, but I can't. Why? Why not? This thing called life, as Helen Keller said, it could be a daring adventure or I forgot the rest. Make it a daring adventure. And we're coming towards the end of the year, which is a beautiful space of reflection where you can look back and say, all right, what did I take on this year that was new? Yeah, it's either a daring adventure or something. It'll come to me. This is reminding me I have to go back to memorizing my quotes, because I do that daily and I haven't been. So now I will. So I can just have my quotes. However, look at this year and say, what did I take on that was new this year? What did I survive this year? What did I grow from this year? How can I better myself from what I learned in this year, instead of, oh, this was a terrible year, next year's going to be terrible. That's so whack. Do something different. Excite yourself with the exceptional gifts that you can bring yourself instead of just settling. And you know when you settled. And I know too, because there's a feeling. It's just like, yikes, you really just threw the towel in. And I do understand that as well. And we get to choose. We get to choose. And I'm learning this in this journey with my father. And there was a moment of, wow, going back and forth to the hospital is draining. I mean, I myself consider myself a healer. I heal with words, with my uplifting energy. And I also have to then, thank you, Maureen, for sharing the live. I also have to go and do the works on myself to stay in an elevated state, or not even an elevated state, where I'm always at. I made a post about my cold plunging and my daily sexy walks and journaling and quiet time. My time is often not spent in the company of others. And knowing that I can take anything and make it work in my favor. Even with this, with my father being treated in the hospital, and even how I'm labeling it. I never said my father's unwell, he's sick, no, he's being treated, he's getting stronger every day. I'm learning through this. I choose your words differently. And I've learned this through this time when I speak to neighbors or friends. Most people just want to know, how bad is it? You know, I know it's bad. I know he's not doing well. How do you know that? How do you know that? He's getting stronger every day. He has the love of his family. And regardless of what happens, everything will be okay. That is my response. There is no other. There is no other. Oh, so what happened? What caused this? It doesn't matter. We're there every day. He's surrounded by love and family. Yeah, but most people, as my father would say, most people are wimps. It is very easy. Yes, Linda, words have power. You're speaking to someone who definitely knows that. I will choose my words meticulously. And I got to a point where I stopped saying, oh, my father is getting stronger in the hospital every day. Well, they don't have, people are boring. People have very boring lives. And that's okay. This is, again, my just perspective. If there's something that's juicy, someone's in the hospital, someone got hit by a car, somebody died, somebody got knocked up. Like, I don't want to, I shared this on my live. There is one person in particular in my family that loves to be the first to tell me that somebody died. Why is it you always calling me to tell me somebody died? That's strange to me. I told this person, I don't want you to be the one that informs me, right? I don't know why it's you. You've called at least 4 times when someone's kicked the can. Just like you want to run and tell that this person died. Did you know this person died? Do you know this person died? Thank you, T Treasure Chest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you are the first to tell people in your family that somebody died, you need to meditate, pray, journal, figure out why you love to do that. Okay? Somebody needs to just create an app. Somebody in the family died. Send the group chat, because no, okay, no. I can tell you, I ain't gonna be the one to tell you anybody died. Right? I don't even like to say death. I will say the person transitioned. I like to talk about life and living it more abundantly. And I understand, yeah, kick the can app. There we go, T. There we go. Why is this person the first to tell, hey, what you doing? What you doing? Why? What? You called me. Why? If you ask me what I'm doing, you called me. Tell me what you need to tell me, because in about 120 seconds, I'm going to hang up. Okay. If you called me saying, hey, what you doing? You called me. What would you like to talk about? And it is the truth. And I people know that's okay. I People know I've told this before. Certain people know not to call me, but they know that I have hours that you can call me. Do not call me after 10 p.m. Hawaii time or before 10 a.m. Hawaii time. Why is that? Okay, after 10 p.m., if I'm in Hawaii, I can't do anything. It's not like I can jump in the car and go come to the funeral or come to the hospital. I can't do that. All I'm going to be doing is worrying and crying and sitting up in the bed. So you can't call me with any news like that after 10 p.m. Now, after 10 a.m., uh, sure, boss man, but trust me, no one calls me like that. In fact, the people who call me really call me at my times, because I've told them and I'm quite clear about this. And I don't just, I talk professionally. I don't want to just talk. What are we talking about? Most people don't have nothing great to talk about. They want to talk about some show or who died or who their socks have holes in it. They gotta get a new dishwasher. The washing machine broke and ain't nobody come fix it. I don't. Why do you call? You can talk to the couch about that. I am not the one to call to say, guess what happened to me? My washing machine, it broke and I'd already put the Tide in the washing machine, girl. I put the clothes in and then I shut the lid and I came back and the clothes was still there and the water was all over the floor. Don't call me about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. And as I'm saying this, I sound just like my father, even while my father is is getting stronger in every moment. I see a lot of elements of myself with my father because while I was at the hospital, they were doing x-rays on his lungs and respiratory system and his heart. And they were like, sir, can you move to the side? And he just looks at them and kind of just shifts. I'm like, Dad, yeah, don't bring me no bad news. Trust me, don't bring me no bad news. Right. Don't call me after 10 p.m. with no bad news, and don't call me before 10 a.m. Here's why. After 10 a.m., I've already meditated, I've journaled, I've done my affirmations, I've drank my water, I've gone on my sexy walk. I'm prepared for anything during the day. But you only have these operating hours, and certain people I'm not picking up the phone anyway. However, yeah, I mean, I'm not, there's lots of elements of both of my parents that are within me. However, sure, yeah. Um, I get to dictate how others communicate to me or respond to me. And it starts with, don't bring me no silliness. No silliness. I don't care to talk about people's downfall or someone who's going through a difficult situation. Unless you're calling me to say, hey, can we rally together to help this person, or how can we be of some assistance? I don't really care to give any words that are not empowering, enterprising, powerful, uplifting, and really just abundant. And I'm serious about that. And, well, you're aware, so you will now, Royal Hughes. Thank you, Linda. Here's the other thing. What I learned, especially as my career, 15 years being a flight attendant, and this is with any profession, the easiest thing to do is to speak negatively. And people love to do that. Did you hear about so-and-so? That is the easiest thing to do. And what I learned to do was just to walk in the opposite direction. I don't want no parts of it. I don't even want to be in earshot, and I'm not going to participate. And it's not a judgment, it's just not a part of me. It's not a part of me. I don't care to do that. I may be boring in that way because gossip isn't fun for me. And I remember asking someone, where in it within your body feels good speaking this way about someone? Does that feel good to you? Or is it just so constant and consistent that this is a habit? Which one is it? Because if it's a constant, consistent effort, you may not feel that it doesn't actually feel good. It doesn't feel good to speak negatively about someone or their situation or something they're going through. It doesn't feel good. Now, it may unite people because others will want to participate, but it doesn't feel good. And monitor that. Feel that. See, like, does this make me feel good? Even in the presence of people, how do I actually feel? Because your body may be trying to tell you something. And I have found a beautiful space of acceptance. I'm quite candid about this with my father, and I understand these are the twilight years. Really, I think the average American lives till what, 72? So these are twilight years. These would be the another chapter. I won't even say a final chapter. There's a beauty of that within myself as well, because this is the best case scenario, that you get to a certain age and your family is around you and they want to be around you. They ain't saying, I hope they kick the can. They're saying, you know, we love you. We're here to support you. That is a good feeling. Would people do that for you? Would you want them to do that for you? Are you prepared for them to do that for you? Have you set up your life where people would rally around you? There's all of these things. And when I speak about your dream, your aspirations, the goals, the visions that you have for yourself, those will be staring you in the face at that time. And when my TED Talk was less than 8 minutes. It's actually a longer program because I learned so much from that emergency landing. And everyone in the chat, you can go to my link in bio. The first tab is my TED Talk entitled The Emergency Landing You Need. And it was created from me being a flight attendant in my 14th year of flying. And I was on a plane where the left engine went out and we had to make an emergency landing, and how that shifted my life. It brought me to this moment. It completely changed my life. I allowed that moment to be clarity and my redirection. I allowed that moment to say, whoa, Hope, this thing called life goes like that. You don't get an email saying this thing is going to end. It doesn't. It doesn't happen that way. And I decided to commit every moment of my life to doing exactly what I want to do, which is radical in itself. But I'm not, my life is for me. And that's when I said, let me figure this out. What do I want? What do I want out of my friendships? What do I want out of my spirituality? What do I want out of my health? What do I want out of my legacy? What do I want for productivity or occupation? What do I want people to say when I'm no longer here? What do you want? What do you want? What is it? Do you just want to continue on and collect a check for like 1,800, 2,400 until they say you can leave and then that's it? Do you want to create something for yourself where you're proud of yourself and others say, wow, they inspired me? Or do you just not even know and you've never really taken the time to say, I don't know what I want. I've been just doing what other people have told me that they want from me, but I don't know what I want. What do I want? Do I want a relationship? Do I want to be married? Do I want to get out of this terrible relationship that I've been pretending for years? And a lot of you do. I know you do. I know you do. Do I want kids? Do I want to get away from these kids that I got? What do you want? But you can't get to that space until you actually ask yourself, what the F do I want? What do I want for my life? Not for what makes them happy, my parents happy, society happy, my partner happy, what I think people want from me. What do you want? What do you want? And I remember I had a severe bout of post-traumatic stress for a while. And after that emergency landing, I didn't fly for a little over 90 days. I took 3 months off. And it was kind of rough. I'm a pretty tough. I am what I am. However, that was something I really grew from. And a lot of the energy that you feel when I speak and the clarity comes from really sitting in those times where it is indescribable. I won't say it was painful. I won't say it was difficult. What I will say is it was quite a precarious situation to survive a emergency landing, left engine go out and be like, whoa, 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 that could have been it, but whoa, this is my profession, but whoa, like all of these questions. And I think for the first week, I don't know if I know I didn't leave my home. There might have been the first few days where I didn't leave my room because my room had an ensuite bathroom and everything. So, but it was quite a precarious time. And it reminded me of another time. And this is why I do show up pretty positive. And I saw creators say most of the most peaceful people that you see have not endured, but grown from some difficult times. And I remember it might have been my third year of flying. I was already living in London. I was based in London at the time. So it could have been 2 years into flying. And that was the first time I had a passenger transition. And every time a passenger transitioned, it was like with me, which was, I took it as like, maybe a sign of the strength that I am. What's up, retired LEO Lawrence? That was quite a precarious time because I did not know this passenger, but experiencing someone no longer living in their human body. Now it's just a body. They walked on, I talked with them, and now their spirit, their soul is no longer there. It's like just a cadaver, just like a carcass. Was traumatic. And having to every country, I've spoken about this because most flight attendants don't experience everyone in this live, most flight attendants don't experience these moments that I have with the emergency landing or people transitioning. That is not normal for any flight attendant, let alone it happening multiple times. So every country, yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. I always love when financials lead the way. Every country has unique rules for if you transition. Meaning, if you are, I believe the US will bring your body back. So if you travel somewhere, yes, I love that. Is a great line. Financials leading the way. Well, thank you. They sure are, honey. They sure are. If you have a US passport, the US, one great thing about the US, they'll bring you back to the US if you happen to transition abroad. However, every country does have different rules for treating that body once it has transitioned. So this happened when I was in Great Britain. I was living in London at the time, working a flight from LA to London, landed in London. It was quite a scene on the flight. The person had been unalived for several hours, and I was approached like, Hope, we need to do CPR. I was frozen. This was the first time it happened. It was shocking to me, and seeing that first response of doing CPR, and if you haven't done that on someone, usually if you do it correctly, you crack ribs, and hearing the cracking of ribs, it was horrible. It was horrible. So once we landed in the UK, a coroner has to come, someone from like international something has to come. So all of us, it was a 777, there might have been 10 to 12 of us, crew members on the flight, not including the pilots. There was 2 or 3, had to stay on the flight with the unalived body while the coroner and the officials came, and it was eerie and weird, just to be there with this body wherein I wanted to run off the plane. And it was quite a precarious feeling. In saying that, I had a friend when I was younger whose family on both sides owned funeral homes. And so she was never fazed by that at all. She would say like, oh, so-and-so's here at the funeral home. That was normal. That's not normal for me. I don't just want to go and see someone in a fridge or just be around that. I'm a little bit more comfortable now because I've experienced it. However, after that instance, I remember, are they easy to spot? As a flight attendant, I don't have to spot them because they have to be introduced to us. But if you're on a domestic flight, they're not really there. They're really on international flights. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm not trying to spot them. They like to let themselves be known. They like to save the day. So I went through it wasn't dark. It was just processing all of that. Our body processes, and this is where I've learned to process. That is traumatic to just see that. Usually, when someone is no longer alive, it may you see the you see it after it's beautified, like at a funeral when it's been makeup and things, not like just seeing it in that way. And I can still see it. And I remember sitting up in my bed, like crying. And my friend at the time, and this was like a long time ago. Jeez. This was well over 15 years ago. My friend, who is now a licensed marriage and family therapist, she's finishing her PhD. She was going through all of her licensing, and she happened to call me, and I was like, I don't know why I'm so upset. I didn't even know this guy. And she was like, that was serious, Hope. Your body has to process that. And take your time. And I remembered, fast forward to my emergency landing, when I was no longer on that flight, and I contacted my father because my love of aviation came from my father. He was a pilot in the Army and in Vietnam, and flew the Huey helicopters, and was a flight instructor. This was far before I even came along. So my father loved, what's up, Stevie? Always loved airplanes, and that's where I fell in love with aviation. However, I called him and told him what happened, and he said, Hope, take your time. I said, what do you mean? He said, take as much time as you need. I love being called beautiful. Thank you, Stevie. He said, things like this can change us. So take as much time as you need. And he would know. Thank you. Because I remember inviting my father to my 8th grade core curriculum class to speak about Vietnam. And yes, he flew the Hueys, but what he was doing was dropping off the soldiers and then picking them up. Oftentimes they were no longer alive. Oftentimes they were no longer in one piece. Oftentimes it was quite a sight to see. And when my father came to speak to my class, he started speaking about he came with X amount, and a smaller amount actually came back to the US, and he began to cry. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then the whole class was crying, and the teacher was crying. I was the only one like, my dad is here, and now this is uncomfortable, because that is a difficult situation, post-traumatic stress disorder, and being a veteran and seeing these things. And now all of the 13-year-olds in my class are crying, and my teacher's crying, and I didn't understand it at that moment. It wasn't until later that I understood the depth of how something so deep and detrimental changes us, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and what war veterans, both in the military and outside of the military, go through. Because you can be a veteran of war and not actually in the military. You can see these same terrible instances in your neighborhood, and just bury those emotions, and just bury that hurt, and just bury that feeling. And so when I told my father what had happened, and he said, take your time, it wasn't until the shock wore off from the emergency landing where I was just hit with somewhat of despair or just not knowing what this thing called life is. And that's why I speak so passionately about this, because I do believe most of us are just going through it like it will continue. Like we don't have the ability to change it. Like we don't possess the tools to create what we want to see for ourselves. And that will be a heavy burden to carry when something happens. Thank you for the gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the Live Fest. So anyone, Mag, Stevie has often visited. There's quite a few hopefuls who are in the live. I come on here to speak because I feel it's a duty. It's also, well, yeah, of course, yes, that is a thing. However, therapy for a veteran in the early 70s wasn't a thing. And therapy now is somewhat welcomed. Several communities don't see therapy as something to do. And I agree. I have a great therapist. I know how to manage. I know how to release. I journal. I have all of these tools. If you don't, and often therapy that's a socioeconomic marker. If you're just trying to survive, therapy often isn't just available. So there's that too. And there are beautiful spaces now where it is available and spoken about, where anyone from any socioeconomic class is able to access therapy. But if it's not accessible and if it's not spoken highly of, like it's something you can use, then it's just like a medication that's unknown. Culturally, there's groups of people that feel like, no, you only crazy people do that. It's a little bit open now, but that hasn't always been the case. And there's a space of therapy for yourself within yourself. Sometimes your therapy may be, one of my best therapies is just being outside. I love being outside. I love hiking, swimming, jumping out of a plane. I just want to be outside. That is one of my forms of therapy. But I also know that until we know, we're unaware that these tools are available. And I speak about this because therapy, is talk therapy, dance therapy, movement therapy, journaling therapy, movement of your body, stretching therapy. There's all sorts of therapy. It doesn't have to just be talk therapy. My therapist in Maui also does art therapy and different forms of therapy outside of talk therapy. Sometimes just talking to yourself and soothing yourself and talking the situation out so you're getting it out. I believe one of the best forms is to release it, not to sit on it, not to just like constantly spin these same thoughts, ruminate. There we go. You know that word. However, yes, thank you for the rose. Thank you, travel therapy. There's also that. There was a point where I think my form of therapy was to escape through travel, and I saw that that may not have been beneficial. However, as I said, going through these instances taught me more about myself and all of the tools I have available, and how much control I actually have over this thing called life. Starting with my words, starting with how I speak to myself, speaking life into myself, speaking well to myself, allowing myself to just feel whatever I feel at the time. Because we all have these instances, and I would encourage you to feel it, even that discomfort, because in that there's something that we learn. And that learning turns into a tool that we are able to access at any time. And so that's why when I come and I speak, especially on live, I'm not really falling apart, because I use the tools. And also, listen, I will always say I live a great life. I live a beautiful life. I live a fulfilling, abundant, wealthy, healthy, sexy life. I won't say anything else outside of that. Even if it wasn't that, I'm not going to say it. I'm only saying what I want to see. That is the secret. Quit putting these words onto your life that you don't want. Stop it. All it does is bring what you don't want. And I don't even repeat things that I don't want in my life. I remember something that happened. Maybe let's say a tire blew out. I won't tell 10 people that day. I don't call people and say, hey, you know what happened? My car broke. No, it happens. It'll work itself out. I don't want to speak into my life anything that I don't want. And I shared this with a friend who was telling me something about dating and his experiences. And I said, hey, yeah, well, saying I did better than you thought, I would sit with that and possibly say I did the best I could do. Because if you thought that you couldn't do it, I would sit with that too. I do believe in just that sheer spirited, positive word. And you always overcome. As I say, what else are you going to do? Just explode into like a million pieces? No, that's not what happens. Start speaking to yourself like the warrior and the overcomer that you are. The sheer speaking of weakness doesn't really benefit you. It could be true, but even speaking of it, speaking it into you, doesn't benefit you. I did well. I did the best that I could with the information I have. And now that I have more information, I will continue to do well. You're not just going to explode. You're not just going to combust. You will continue. Here's the thing with life. And my mom would say, if you think you can't live without someone, just keep living, which is true. Sorry, Mag. I've never met anyone where I've ever said, I can't live without you. Nah, I've been pretty good. I've been able to live without all y'all. And I've always found an exchange. I don't think you can replace someone. I believe you can exchange. Well, most of y'all can be replaced. A lot of you guys aren't that special. Let me just say that as well. I'm not going to lie to you. You're not. But life will keep going. And that's the beauty of it. There's something for you to grow from in the experience. It's as in my Mag. As am I. As am I. There's something for you to grow from in the sheer experience. And the experience of life is the coolest thing. I was looking at anyone who's on here has posted content or is actually on TikTok. Congratulate yourself. Congratulate yourself. Whether you are aspiring to be a huge content creator or using this in any type of way, congratulate yourself. And here's why. There might have been a moment where you were too afraid to even download the app. There might have been a moment where you were too afraid to even be seen. There might have been a moment where you wouldn't even tell people you were on this app, and you are. And I have been there. And I was just looking at how I had grown, and I got to a point where I said, I'm just showing up. I'm just going to show up on TikTok and YouTube, and I'll focus on that. And I'll show up every day. And wow, I have 3 followers, and then I have 54 followers. I have 100 followers. I wish I had more. It happens. You just got to give, first of all, patience is the secret to anything. Patience. Whether it's you, thank you for sharing the live, Blizz 215. If it's you changing your life, changing your body, changing your looks, changing your outlook, changing your mental health, it takes time. And that's where patience comes in. If you have patience, you will win. This is why I always win. I got time, baby. I got time. All I got is time. And stop saying you ain't got no time. I have no time. Why not? Why not? I say all I have is time. Well, I got to get here. Okay, but get there safely. Like the need of the stress of just getting to one place, take your time, get there safely. I'm not rushing anywhere. I have nothing but time. Furthermore, back to the content creation space, you will grow. You will grow as long as you're consistent and patient with content or with anything. And I don't listen, William Gare or Gare 5, I'm going to take out the hard work part because I'm not really about that. I'm about persistence, but hard work, I don't know what that means something different for everyone. And I actually don't think that can always be the most beneficial. I think dedicated work, dedicated efforts, well-made efforts, but just I'm working hard. Nah, that's old. We aren't doing that anymore. I got too many ancestors who did that. I'm doing good work at my pace that's well done, but I am not going to break my spirit, myself, my body, my soul over what I produce. So I personally have eliminated hard work. I don't do that. Now I do well-made efforts consistently. That could be considered hard work. There we go, mindful. I no longer use that phrase. Hard work pays off. No, consistency pays off. If you do something every day, that pays off. Number one, you just get better because you're doing it every day. Number two, anyone who wants what you have will eventually see it because you're doing it every day. And thirdly, you will build confidence within yourself because the more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you see how you improve, your competency increases. It's all of that, but just hard work. No, we ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I am not. I put in 18 hours of work. That's incredibly insane to me. That's 18 hours. There's only 24 hours in a day. I don't brag about that. I don't think that that's anything to be uplifted. Okay, we're working mindfully, and I don't even like the term work. I prefer productivity. We're being productive in a mindful, diligent, consistent way. That's it. That's it. That's it. When I'm ready to rest, I'll rest. What's up, Danielle? When I'm ready to say, you know what, let me reformulate, I'll reformulate. I will still consistently do it, but hard work, get that out of here. No, we're showing up every day. We're showing up dedicated. We're showing up inspired. Inspired. There's something with that. And this comes from passion, but this also means that you have to like what you do. If you don't like what you do, you won't get any of this. Yeah, you won't get any of this. Because your drive has to come from something else. If you don't actually genuinely like what you do, the drive isn't from the actual action. It may be from the monetary benefit or whatever you've categorized that is the pull for you. But if you don't like what you do, this part won't resonate. It won't resonate. And there's stages to all this. My belief is there's stages to this. There's times in our life where it is all about hard work, study and graduate and get that great job, and until you see I'm burnt out and I actually didn't want to do this, and actually this isn't. No, I feel like a zombie. Like, why did I choose this? Then there's the thought of, okay, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to do something for fun? Am I doing something to build a financial portfolio? Then those questions come out. There could be a luxury of eventually getting to your passion project in life. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Speaking and engaging and everything that's coming from this is truly from passion. There's never a time where I say I don't want to speak. Thank you for the follow Born Hair Products. And everyone would say, yeah, I hope she loves to talk. Yeah, well, I got something good to say. There's that too. Yeah, and being burnt out, actually, I'm always a teacher. I'm teaching in everything I say. If you're speaking of a scholastic setting, possibly, but I teach because I'm an exceptional communicator. If you're burnt out, you're further along in the burnt out process than you know, because it starts with just tired or probably headaches or just a sense of I don't want to do this. If you can actually say I'm burnt out, you're probably further into that burnt out space. And take care of yourself, because and I have done some teaching as well. Our health is our wealth. Oh, Harry, many a man has said this. Many a gentleman has said this. And now, thank you. This is what I have said before. I appreciate you. I accept this. Thank you. What is all this? What is going on? I don't know. This is my family's house is hilarious. Yeah, being burnt out, I completely understand that. Take care of yourself. Health is wealth. Every time I go to the hospital, that's all I can say is health is really wealth. You need to take care of your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul. Sit down and drink some water and just journal. What is all this jiggling the door handle? It sounds like, did my mom I don't know. I don't know. This is one thing. I just keep hearing a door handle being jiggled. I don't know if my mom like if the door handle fell off and I don't know, Danielle. I don't know. Do you see this is why I'm laughing and happy all the time? There's so much random funny nonsense. Yeah, but I'm not actually in a room with doors, but I hear uh, sure. Yes. Okay. So health is wealth. Take care of your body. Start learning about food and stop just saying, I'm hungry and putting anything in your mouth to satisfy your stomach. Learn about nutrients. Learn about your digestive system. Take a walk, get some sun, stretch, try Tai Chi, try acupuncture, try energy work. Take care of your body. My mother said, take care of your body because you only got one. And she's right about that. And every time I go to go to the hospital, I'm reminded of that. That's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. And that was the main reason why I stopped drinking. Now, here's the caveat. I only drink great stuff, okay? So I ain't over there with y'all drinking, I don't know what y'all drink. But when I was in these skies and in these streets, dancing on these bars all over the world, I was dancing and drinking bottles of champagne that you've never heard of. And it was great. And I loved it. And why have one bottle of champagne if you could have four? And it gets to a point where I said, okay, well, this isn't really adding to me. Like, it's fun, but I would get up in the morning and usually jog 5 miles a day, 5 miles every morning. And I would drink so much, I would just throw up that night and black out and then wake up like, okay, let's go for a run because I've thrown up everything. And that got to a point where it wasn't really fun. It wasn't really fun. And why not? Listen, if you're in some beautiful private event in the south of France in a lovely custom made dress or Roberto Cavalli with the Jimmy Choos, you better have a couple bottles of champagne. I'm not drinking water. But there comes a point where you gotta just drink water. And I chose to. I had a nickname of, 5 miles. See how I got that mixed up? Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm a runner. Ask every man in my life. They know I'm a runner. I run away. But I'm also a long distance runner. And I like it because, as I've said before, uh, long distance is all mental. It's all mental. It's all it's all like I can keep going. I can keep doing it. It's all mental, and I believe life. Yeah, well, that's okay. That's all right. There is always something. There's al- there's always something nice to run to, and everyone loves a little chase. Everyone loves a chase, but who know? Mag, let's cool out, fall back, okay? No, that is true. You can't run forever, but maybe I can. Maybe I'll create the longest runner ever. Um, it's not even about running. When it's right, it's right. But I digress. I don't care to talk about that. Not drinking. Yeah, I stopped drinking just because it's just not fun. It's just not fun. I've really done it to the highest degree. And sure, life is a marathon. And it doesn't add to me. Yeah, when it's right, it's right. And then sometimes even that cannot be right. But then you can find another and it'll be right. We always get onto this. I've seen a few content creators talk about decentering men. I've said this before. Men are great, but I'm the greatest. It's me. You're great because of me. Like, you're not that great. And also, what's up? Oh, Via, I was just reading. Oh, Via, I'm glad you're taking some rest. I am glad because I sent you that because I could sense it. I could sense it. You get your rest, girl. It is the truth. Men are great, but I'm the greatest. You guys are all great, but guess what? I've always been able to find someone that's even greater. And um, I also have been traveling professionally. So it was never, I can't find someone. As soon as I land, I already found someone. I ain't worried about you. There's already 15 others. I leave men in the countries, I find them, and it's the best thing. It is the best thing. I am not going to be tripping over something. I had two boyfriends in my kindergarten class. We were all in the same class. I've been doing this for a long time, okay? Here's the other thing. You hear me speak about my father. I've had such a, yeah, not new to this. I've had such a great example of what a man can be for you. Because a lot of these creators, and I will say, y'all aren't really about that life. When the talk of, I don't know, it's called soft girl, I don't know. I've always lived that. My mom lived that. I know what that is. Y'all ain't doing that. You saw it on the app and then you screenshot it and you try to live it. It ain't the same, honey. It ain't the same. But because of that, also my parents' relationship is a great partnership. Um, exactly. Go out and find it or create it. I know what it takes for a successful partnership marriage to work. I'm still deciding if I want that because life is great. And men can be weird. You guys are great. You guys are really fantastic, but not as fantastic as me. That's just it. And that's it. That's it. In saying that, the gentlemen that have been in my life have been fantastic, and they know how valuable I am to them, and vice versa. They were very valuable to me. However, there's like billions of people in the world. I have never been under the thought that I can't find someone. I'm never looking. I've never looked for a partner. I've never said I'm looking for a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend. Never. Why do I want to do that? I attract, honey. I attract. And especially with traveling, uh, and I talk to everyone. Like, people just say, "Wow, your energy. I just wanted to come over and talk to you." Uh, exactly. There you go, Mama. Listen, I am all for it. Say it again. Select copy, and paste that again in the chat. I am so lucky to have that kind of marriage with a man who will lay down his life down for me. Yes, I saw that with my father. Therefore, I don't need to ever tell someone this isn't what I deserve. Man, I ain't sticking around to tell you that. You won't see me again. Here's the other thing. I will just say, like, I'm usually, I haven't just like disappeared from a boyfriend ever. I wouldn't do that. I could, but I haven't. But if we went out to dinner once or twice, I don't I don't owe you anything. I'm hopping on the flight. I'm out of here. Goodbye. At this point now, yes, I would say, you know what? you're a fantastic person. I don't see this aligning and continuing into a committed long-term relationship. That's the last thing I said to somebody. That's as clear and concise as you can be. If you're upset at that, be upset at yourself. What's up, Ree? It's going absolutely fantabulous. Yeah, and here's the other thing. I've never had that. I haven't had, and this has been with any man I've been in a relationship with. I I've always had great treatment. I might have been the terrible one, but I've never had to beg or ask. Come on now. Come on now. I'm not just quickly getting in a relationship. This is a process that will take time. It will take a lot of time, and you will invest the time, and you will know. Outside of that, what are we doing? And you think, come on, get out of here. Get out of here. A lot of the stuff that is talked about with dating, I can't relate to. That's why I never really speak about dating. Oh yeah, I'm probably that girl for at least one boyfriend. Like that girl changed me for the rest of my life. Yeah, I will tell. Back in the day when I first started flying, even before I started flying at 22, I will tell you whatever you want to hear, just like a dude, and then go off and do whatever I want. Why the heck not? As I said, anytime in your 20s, man, that ain't time to settle down. This is time to find out what's good. This is time to find out about me and about life and where we going and what private events and where's the dinner date. What are we doing? Mom, what was all that jiggling with the handle?
That was that cat. That cat. I'm trying to get that cat.
Mom, I just heard all this jiggling with the door handle. I thought the cat was jiggling the door handle?
He's shaking the door.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, probably into your mid 30s, but I ain't settling. We're in love. Probably, but as soon as I leave and get on this plane, I will fall in love with somebody else. Trust me. I've never been that much in love, okay? Never. Now it's a different story, but no, not at 22, please. Please, the stories I have, absolutely not. But men get really obsessed with me. They do. And that can be unfortunate, and I understand why. But no, 28 is in 20s, Danielle. 28? You're still a kid. You're still formulating what you feel as an adult. I don't know. What you feel for you is what's best for you. But anytime before 30?
Yes.
No. Yeah. Well, if you feel old at 28, you're going to live till you're like 80. Change that. Why would you feel old at 28? I'm 40 and I don't feel old. That's start there. Start seeing yourself as the princess you are. Yeah, people get to and dumped. We don't even need to get to that space of a relationship. We really don't. Here's the other thing. We're not getting to a space of intimacy. The other thing is, I've been you're not behind in your life. No one's ever behind. You're exactly where you need to be. The point is understanding where you need to be and not comparing yourself to where anyone else is. But you can't be forward or behind in life. You're exactly where you need to be. Thank you. But I have a lot of experience. Once I left my parents' home at 22, I was on my own traveling the world and building my life. And I have always been confident, and I had to be. I was building my life all around the world. I had to be. I had to be quick. I had to be aware. Not all the time, but I learned and I took the information on. But what did I say with dating? Yeah, this is for any young lady. Sure, Danielle. Stop giving away everything so easily. Your time, your intelligence, your body, your thoughts. Like, you don't just get time to around me to take all of the great things I have to say to share to someone else. I'm really vetting everyone, okay? Um and I see it as a not as a game, but like if I see myself as a conglomerate or a business, I'm not just merging with any company. I'm very serious with telling any young woman, do not make intimacy something that is automatic, ever. My body is the most precious commodity. Well, really, my mind, which is part of my body, but you don't get to get that close to me until certain parameters are met. And that may take time. And if you take that time, you will eventually say, oh, nah, man, no, you are whack. You are a clown. And that's okay. A lot of people are clowns, but give yourself time to know what a clown is to you. Give yourself time to know, oh, I just want validation from a man. I don't actually want a boyfriend. I want to feel good about myself. And often through for women, it's being told that we can only feel good when we have a partner. Yeah, it's the truth. To me, this is a truth for me. This is what has worked for me. When I'm talking about intimacy, I'm not just open to sharing that. Like, we have to really connect and have a bond, and that takes time. That takes time. It just takes time. Also, to any young woman, here's the other thing. If you are intimate, understand there are chemicals and hormones in your body that are formed the moment intimacy begins, that even though you may think, I can do this and I won't get attached, it's not about what you think. It is a chemical reaction. It is hormones. It is everything inside your body. There's nothing you can do about that. Nothing. And I know, listen, I know women who did this at a high level as a profession, okay? And they were even going crazy over dudes. Stop doing that to yourself. I remember a friend saying, yeah, well, hope I have needs. I said, your needs are driving you nuts because you're allowing this to open the door for whatever dude you're with, and now you can't even think straight, and you calling people and needs. You can override. It's not even about overriding that. There's also the element of the developments in the adult toy space are fantastic. If you need that in the meantime. However, intimacy with someone is going to set off a chemical reaction within your body. So, as much as you say you will not get attached or connected or you can forget about it, it's not about what you think. It's actually science. Know that. Also, know that specifically to young women, sometimes your need for intimacy may come from traumas. And it's not actually intimacy you're asking for. Also, know that knowing your body is important. If we're speaking about this, I remember telling this to a family member. If you're choosing to open that gate and walk through that gate with someone, here's my 3 most important things. Number 1, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for the person. You're not, thank you. Listen, it's the truth. Y'all gotta, these young kids gotta hear it. And I actually, this is what I love about age, and I will never, I can't, I love it. At 40, I can actually say, yeah, I got something to say. I'm not listening to a creator on the app at 23. You're 23. No, no. You probably have something that you have learned. However, there is a beauty of continuously living this thing called life and seeing these different revelations within yourself. And as I said, I don't know what that means. DJ Designs caked up. Is that like a cake, like a birthday cake? I don't know. I don't really speak American slang so much past the year probably 2006. So they 23, that sentence isn't even constructed well. They 23, but they be caked up. I don't understand. That's like speaking Urdu. I don't, please clarify because I don't actually know what that means. I'm assuming it means they are 23, but their body, I don't, you're a man, you're weird. So, number one, if you're choosing to have into, I don't know what the context clues are. A cake is a baked good. DJ Design used you aren't constructing your sentences, like the grammar is incorrect. So I will use context clues, but I can only use context clues when the sentence is constructed in a way that allows me to digest it and understand it. Used. Cake is money. What does that have to do with any? What does money have to do with that? They may be 23, but they have $4 signs. You are an idiot, and I can tell. So the three things that I say are, if you're choosing to go down the route of intimacy, number one, do it for you. Not to keep someone, not because they want it, not because you think you'll keep you connect. Nah, if you want to do it, do it. Do it for you. I want to do this. I want this. Do and ask you, is this for me? Am I doing this for me? Or am I doing this for something outside of me? Am I doing it for the love that I think that I'll gain from this person, or the respect that I think I'll gain from this person? I am. You're okay. You are is not a word. First, you are is not a word. You're close-minded, shorty, shoddy, geez, all on my neck, bout sim grammar. You should feel embarrassed, but I know you're not. So do it for yourself. Secondly, yeah, I'm not on here like I don't. I'm closed-minded because I can't. No, it's not that I'm closed-minded. I may just have slight intelligence to read grammar. I can't read that. I may not even be trying to insult you. I just can't understand that sentence. The structure wasn't even correct. Your is not a word. Why? You are isn't a word. Bout is a word. Sim, I don't know. SIM. I know the Sims game, but so do it for yourself. Secondly, learn your body. Learn your body. Here's the other thing for the young women. Whatever expeditions you go on, Use every situation to learn something about you and your body. Meaning, a lot of, and it doesn't even have to be a man because this is genderless. But in this case, I will direct it towards men, especially young men. But this could span all of it, and it is cultural as well, depending from what country you're from. But there could be a space where uh, well, then don't date. If you have anxiety, you shouldn't, that dating may not be your thing right now. Get through that, because if you're going through something, and anxiety is you're already thinking of the worst case scenario. What's up? What's up? What's up? You're thinking of the worst case scenario. It can be fun. It can be fun. I see dating as fun. I don't see it as anything negative at all. But I'm very selective and I'm okay with myself. It doesn't have to be like I got to have this person. Like, chill out. It's cool. Do it for you. Learn your body. Oftentimes, men don't really know as much as they say they do. They don't understand our bodies. So, this is why I say learn your body so you can tell someone, so you can instruct someone, so maybe you can show someone, because plenty of people don't actually know our anatomy. And it is important for you to know your body, know what you like, know what you don't like, know pressure, know all of these things. And I think that's important, especially with self pleasure, to understand your body. So know your body completely. Therefore, you can tell someone. Yes, definitely. We are definitely having a very intimate conversation with Hope today. Then you can instruct someone, because no one knows how to bring the best feelings to you. Only you do. And by knowing that, you can instruct someone, because most people are using the same things on every person they encounter, because a lot of people actually are not very comfortable in this space, in the intimacy space. They might have had something where they just feel powerless and they have to do it, and they are not using their voice, or maybe they don't actually want to be there. However, if you're in a space where you can be honest and communicate, and be ready for people not to always understand your communication, but show them what you like. That is important. Yo! I see someone very special. And I dropped in your live earlier today, Self-Care Queen ASMR. And Bia's in here too. Bia, our other sound goddess healer. So with young women, 3 things. Number 1, only be intimate when you want to be intimate. No other time. Don't do it for love. Don't do it because you want the guy to like you. Don't do it because you think you'll get a relationship. Don't do it because he said, let's do it. You decide, do I want to do this? And you go from there. Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you have another account. Secondly, know your body, which means know your body. Stand in front of a mirror, see your body, feel your body. I'm all for the new adult, what do they call adult toys, adult apparatuses that are now in the market. I think they're fabulous. Many a flight attendant has been embarrassed going through security and something in our bag has been switched on, and then TSA opens it and we're like, yeah, you know what that is. You know what that is. One time it was actually my toothbrush though. One time it was actually my toothbrush, and because I have a Sonicare toothbrush, this is why my teeth are so white. And here's the story. So my sister, I would invite sometimes my sisters to come stay with me on a layover. And I believe we were in either San Francisco or Sacramento, and we took the transportation because with flight attendants we all contractually always have someone that brings us from the airport to our hotel. And as the driver was taking my bag out of the back of the van, he puts it on the ground and he switches something on. So my whole suitcase was like, brrrr, and my niece, who was maybe 6 at the time, she was like, Auntie, your bag is moving. I was like, get away from my bag, get away from my bag. It's just my toothbrush. It's just my toothbrush. It's just my toothbrush. And it was, that time it was. It was actually my toothbrush that time. However, I think the new things they have on the market, oh my gosh. Wow, they are amazing. Here's another story. We are getting quite the honest hope here. One time, a friend of mine who was quite young, he was 23. He was 23, young friend of mine. I would make dinner and we would just talk in Maui. And he came over. I did not know I had my adult toy charging on my bookcase. And so I had made dinner, we were eating, and I think he was about to leave. He was like, what's that? And I said, oh, yeah. You can see exactly what it is. You can see exactly what it is. Like, this is my home. So I probably was cleaning and just decided to charge it. So this is this is exactly what it is. And it's beautiful. You know, it looks like an art piece. So there's that. So learn your body, and possibly just Amazon has a great selection, but that's great. And the third thing is do it for yourself. Learn your body. Do it for yourself. Learn your body. I think, like, put your pleasure on a pedestal, because women are often shamed for this. And so we're supposed to not enjoy intimacy? Absolutely not. No, 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 no. That's all bad. That's all wrong. We're both in this together. And so put your pleasure on a pedestal. And to Danielle, if you are apprehensive or anxious while dating, step away. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you for the 100%. Step away. If you're anxious while dating, first of all, listen to that. It's okay to be naughty and sweet. Okay. Sure. Okay. um, that just men, stop. I don't even know what that means, but I don't listen to you. You weren't missing out on anything good if you're feeling anxious. You probably shouldn't be around those people. Listen, let me give you a little dating advice. If you feel anxious, it's probably not you. It's probably who you're around. And it's great for you to identify that you are. Yeah, I can tell you're in your 20s. Listen, they're all good guys. When people say he's a nice guy, they're all nice. I don't care. Everyone's nice. Everyone's nice. Everyone's nice initially. But no. No. Everyone's nice initially. Give it a while. You'll start to just see people's character. And that's not to say everyone is a terrible person. You may just see parts of a person's character that may not align with you. Integrity is huge with me. Huge. Huge. If I'm with a guy and someone drops their wallet and he says, Hope, I'm finna pick up this wallet and go fill up my gas tank. He ain't never seen his wallet again. I'm walking away from that guy immediately. That's terrible to me. But if you agree with that, then that's the perfect guy for you. For me, integrity is something big. I do like someone that people say, that person, you know what, I was down and they came and they listened to me and they helped me out and they've always been honest, and that means something to me. And not every relationship is going to be your last relationship. You will learn something from all of them. All of them, okay? One of them will, or it may not. I'm all for the 10-year theory. I'm all on this. We can have a good 10-year lease, and then we can renegotiate our contract or our lease, see if we want to extend the lease. 10 years is a good run for me. But I don't know if I actually ever want to be with someone for the rest of my life. Maybe, as I said, I could have that person or meet that person and everything I'm saying is out the door, where I say I met the one and this is it. Possibly. I'm open to all of this. I'm not rigid, and I don't subscribe to any of society's standards. If I want to be with someone for 5 years and then walk away and say, you know what, I just want to be by myself again, I'm okay with that. I won't think I'm going to break this person's heart. No, it's going to break my heart if I continue not living in my truth and not being honest with a person. And I say that because I've done it before. I'm only talking what I know. I remember, yeah, we can renegotiate our contract. Let me tell you, because I know. I've been in that, where I was with the person a lot longer than intended, because I kept thinking, oh, they're going to be so sad and hurt. And all the time, the whole time, the more that I'm savoring their feelings, I'm breaking my oath to myself. I'm not being honest with myself, and I'm slowly withering inside. Honesty, let me just say, is the best policy. Now, learning how to construct your honesty is a skill, but don't continue to be with someone just because you're afraid that they'll be sad when you say you don't want to be with someone. That's not kind, that's not compassionate, and that's not loving at all. No. And if you don't want to be with them, that's okay. You're not married to them, even if you are married. But I digress. However, yeah, trust me, as my mom says, if you don't think you can live without someone, keep living, okay? Keep living. And just accept people are just people. You could say people are weird, people are mean. They're just people. We're all just showing up and trying to find what's best for us. However, if you feel anxious, that's a sign. That's a sign. That is a really big sign. That's a huge sign. I would know that. I would know that. And plus, you will find somebody else. There's never a time that you won't. And it's okay. Your time with yourself is great. Ask any mature woman, meaning 70 and up, who may have been married. Great. Get used to breaking up with people in a honest, compassionate way. Like breakups, it's just what it is. It's the same thing with friendships. Not all friendships are lifelong friendships. You grow out of friendships with people. I remember, of course, my dad. My dad would say, if people can't come to where you're at, that's not always a friend that you need. Meaning, if you always have to go to their house, if you always have to meet them where they're at, if they can't meet you halfway, or if they can't meet you at your home, that may not be a friend that may not last. And a lot of friendships, from what I've found, they are conditional. Everything is conditional. Your friendships in school were because you all went to the same school. The moment you stop going to the same school, you kind of trail off. The moment my father would always say, coworkers aren't your friends. So I'm not the biggest with having friends where I work. I'm cordial with everyone. I'm kind with everyone. And I'm not looking for best friends at my place of business. I definitely won't ever be in a relationship with anyone I work with. I won't probably in the same industry. I've never done that. I have strict rules that I never cross with that. However, that happens. That happens with friendships, with relationships. Just, it's okay. And men will always come back around. They do, if you want them to or not. But there will be one that may just steal your heart. And that's great. But a lot are just practice. And that's great too. See it as something fun. Do not look at dating as this daunting, terrible process. It could be, or you could say, I only am around people that make me laugh and feel good and I feel safe around. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel like I need to have my guards up. If you feel like that, that's not it. That's not it. And just allow it to feel comfortable. That's when it's great. That's when it's great. So yeah, there's that. Any other questions? Because I'm gonna wrap this up and go have some shortbread. This all started with take one more breath. What's up, Kenneth? This all came from when I was with my dad at the hospital today. I had told him, Dad, just one breath at a time. And I was doing a breathing exercise with him, one breath at a time, one breath at a time. Speaking of that, I have a really short, quick 3-minute meditation on my Hope is Speaking YouTube channel. It's like quick 180-minute meditation. Check that out, because sometimes you just got to check in and take a breath. Yeah, and it's quite all right. Like, my dad is, everything always works out for me. So there's nothing so detrimental where it's bad. I shift everything to a perspective of beneficial or not beneficial. Nothing's neither good or bad. However, take a breath. Take a breath. Shift, change, allow, don't allow, break up, don't break up. Be clear and concise with your words. Learn how to speak. Learn how to write and type a clear sentence. That's one thing. Any of the gentlemen, I've always been in these accelerated courses. I love intelligence. And a lot of you think you're intelligent and you're not. You're just intelligent for who you're around. So you'll say something that sounds profound, but it's not profound. It just is profound because of who you've surrounded yourself by. Those who are truly astute really stand out, and I love that. I don't focus on looks. I think most people have a horrible picker. They pick on something like looks or height. That's, to me, one of the most the least beneficial ways to pick a partner, because that's not what sustains you or creates a partnership. It's a personality, and it's core characteristics and things like integrity or in maintaining your word, these types of things. Value. Height, I was with someone who was shorter than me for years. Great guy. I don't care about any of that. Smart, I love. Integrity, I love. Honesty, I love. Maintaining your word, I love. Slightly arrogant, because you gotta be if you're around me and actually know your stuff, not like read it from Reddit and regurgitate it. I love. I love. So what have we learned? We've learned to prioritize yourself, your pleasure, your learning of yourself, your ability to communicate, and to know when something's not for you. Your body tells you. Your body tells you. And furthermore, this thing called life keeps going. Lie to yourself and tell yourself you got it figured out. Stop saying, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm behind. You're behind in what? How? Is there a test? Is there some litmus test to show that you're behind? You are exactly where you need to be at every moment in your life, fortunately or unfortunately. I tell myself that every day. My life is mine. It's in no comparison to anyone else. It's my journey. It's my lesson. It's my book. It's my story. I also understand I'm driving this bus. I can change it at any time. I got the control. Okay? Understand that. And it keeps going. You expand, you grow, you learn. And there's always another person out there. There's that too. So, with my flower crown, I really liked this live. This has been quite fantastic. As I shared, subscribe to my YouTube, Hope is Speaking. I upload all of my lives onto my YouTube channel under Daily TikTok Lives. I have affirmations, I have meditations, I have content for confidence, content for public speaking, and I upload every day. Every day. So subscribe, because I also go live on YouTube and you'll be seeing more. So watch this space. As always, I end all of my lives, and follow me on here if you haven't. And if you don't, that's okay too. There's that. Be the reflection of love, because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up like I did today. Even when I came from the hospital, I was like, all right, time to show up, time to go talk. It's a commitment that I have to myself. So my commitments to myself, I like to show up for myself. So show up for yourself. And when you show up, make it look good. I don't need to see, we don't do the pajamas and the stained shirts and the holes and I can't see you, but get sexy, okay? Because we do it sexy over here. And finally, laugh at yourself. Laugh at these dummies out here. A bunch of y'all think that you are there's a lot to laugh about. Right? There's a lot to laugh about. I laugh at myself all the time. I am hilarious. I am animated. If I trip and fall, it's never dainty. My arms go everywhere and I'm ridiculous, but it's hilarious. Laugh. It is healing. It is helpful, and it is always something you can get back to. Remember things that can make you laugh. So in those down times, or when you're like, what the heck is going on with life? Think of those times. I do that all the time. I'll just start giggling like crazy and people will think I'm a lunatic. That is okay. Laugh. Learn how to manage you. Give yourself what you need. If it's laughter, if it's a hug, if it's some tissue because you gotta cry, if it's a new man because you're tired of the old one, replace them. It's great. Throw them to the side. There's others. Okay, go out to dinner. As I say, a single woman should never be bored or hungry, because someone should be taking her out to eat or taking her out to some attraction. So that's for you, Danielle. That is my honesty and my word for the day. So I hope I made you laugh or smile or something, but I know you felt something because that's what hope does. I will see you. What is tomorrow? Is tomorrow Friday? I think it's Friday. Or is tomorrow Thursday? It doesn't matter. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Have a good night. And Mag, I know you learned a lot tonight. I will see you tomorrow. With pleasure. Okay, tomorrow's Friday. Thank you, Danielle.